This is a Restless reaction. We are doing a classic Restless reaction. We have got to get a reaction to, maybe, in my opinion, the clip that I think Pastor Mark today maybe regrets most, because it is used to beat him over the head with whenever criticism comes up. And so I want you guys to listen to this and let's react. Let's appreciate the clip for what it is.
Too many guys waste too much time trying to move stiff-necked, stubborn, obstinate people. I am all about blessed subtraction.
This is from a church planners boot camp in October 2007.
Our listeners who have not listened to us the whole time do not know that I heard this clip when it came out and loved it. And I was rooting this clip on. I would like it on the record, though. Restless is about blessed addition of our listeners.
That's right.
Though.
Blessed addition. That's why we're inviting others to join us on the podcast, to react with us. That's why we invite you, Pastor Mark, to come and join us. Christianity Today might be throwing you under the bus, but we wouldn't. We want you here. I mean, we do a lot talking about the stuff you've done, but we really do appreciate it. So come on. We'd love to have you.
We want you to be one of the nice guys on the bus.
The day before, Mark and the executive team had fired two elders who'd raised objections to changes in the church governance policy.
There is a pile of dead bodies behind the Mars Hill bus. And by God's grace, it'll be a mountain by the time.
Laugh. Sorry. I'm just
that little chuckle.
A pile of dead bodies. To be fair to me, I did not know this clip came immediately after they fired two elders trying to hold him accountable. So I don't know.
You only knew Driscoll's side of it. You didn't know the other side.
That's right.
We're done. You either get on the bus or you get run over by the bus. Those are the options. But the bus ain't going to stop. This is what we're doing. There's a few kind of people. There's people who get in the way of the bus. They got to get run over. There are people who want to take turns driving the bus. They got to get thrown off because they want to go somewhere else. There are people who will be on the bus, leaders and helpers and servants. They're awesome. There's also just sometimes nice people who sit on the bus and shut up.
Matt, as our guest, I'd like to ask you, what kind of person on the bus are you?
I'd probably be one of the nice guys on the bus at the moment. I'm thinking back in time to where I would be at this point. I'd probably be a nice guy on the bus.
Well, then I think you get to stay on the bus.
They're not helping or hurting. Just let them ride along. You know what I'm saying? But don't look at the nice people. They're just going to sit on the bus and shut their mouth and think, I need you to lead the mission. They're never going to. You need to gather a whole new core. I'll tell you guys what, too. You don't do this just when you're church planting or replanting. I'm doing it right now. We just took certain guys and rearranged the seats on the bus. Yesterday, we fired two elders for the first time in the history of Mars Hill last night. They're off the bus, under the bus. They were off mission, so now they're unemployed.
Pastor Michael, tell us, what is wrong with this clip? Why does this clip get brought out every time we need to criticize old Pastor Mark?
So what's really interesting is listening to it now. Obviously, I probably wouldn't have caught this. I don't remember ever hearing this clip before, after the fact when everybody uses it to get Driscoll. And for good reason. It's a bad clip. It's bad. But the very fact, even like right now, and maybe this is my Presbyterianism coming out. But when he says, we just fired two elders. It's like, what do you mean fired two elders?
Good question.
What does that even mean? Like, what does that entail? You fired them like they worked for you, like they were part of your, like, this is very clearly, right? All I would have to do is hear that. And I would think, okay, this is a CEO type model business, right? Like this guy's got all the power. And he is just, kind of using some yes men on a board to decide what he wants to do for a church. And that probably was very obvious to those who were wise at the time that this came out, even if we would not have caught it. But obviously, this is very, it's not only is it bad, like just in its clear view of the governance of the church. The fact that he is talking about this publicly, like the day after, right, or whenever it was. I mean, right away, just telling people about it. Like, yep, we just had to fire these guys, get rid of them. Like that's really problematic, I think. Just in showing you kind of the lack of careful thought, the lack of understanding in the matter, the lack of discernment. It appears very nasty now, hearing it now anyway.
Yeah. I'll just say the Reformed Church is calling. If your elders can just be fired, you don't have elders. In case you're wondering, listener, just so you know. Matt, what do you think about this clip, hearing it now?
I didn't hear it then. So this was the first time I had heard this, I believe. And I mean, it's pretty bad, for a host of reasons. I'm even thinking of, all these people that have been, as the podcast is kind of saying, like, left in the wake. How would this not embitter you if you were one of those two people? And how would you feel in any way, I guess, loved in that moment of like, well, yeah, you're one of the dead bodies, get off. Like we kicked you off. You're an elder of the church. And I guess I don't know how recent it was, but he just said we just fired these people. And yeah, I don't know how you fire elders like that, but I am very interested in how that happened. Was that a vote, or was that there's
a whole episode, so we'll save it, but at least one of the episodes goes into more detail about this particular event, so it's really fascinating.
I think that what people, this is the clip people bring out to show that for Driscoll, people being hurt didn't matter, right? When you're like, there's a pile of dead bodies, right? That's never a thing you just kind of throw out, like, that's how you know I'm successful. And so I think that this clip is rightly used against him. But I think you're right, Pastor Michael, that obviously, sadly, people are hurt in the world, and people are going to disagree with ministry styles, and there's going to be conflict. But I totally think you're right that the things that the lack of discernment this shows, and the obvious church polity problems,
and just the arrogance, right? Just the arrogance of personality that you would, talk in this way is very. I mean, it's astounding.
It just doesn't sound like something that somebody who's really, really good at their job would say.
Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the Restless podcast. We'll catch you next time.